Hello, lovelies. How are you? It is a glorious day here in South Australia today. It's Saturday the 15th. No, don't know what day it is. I don't know, but it's a Saturday and the weather is absolutely beautiful. We've got lovely blue skies. We were expecting showers, but we haven't had any, so I'm not going to grizzle about that. But weather forecast all over and done with. I have got some lovely little bits of stitching that I would like to show you. I was watching Natasha from Treasure Books the other day, and she was showing us what she does with all her little bits of scraps left over. She pops them into a box as she's working, and then she gets very busy and takes a full box of her bits down to her sewing machine, and this is what she comes up with, or something similar to it. Let me just pop that up there. I've got several of the same shades. I've had bits of paper around that I've not used in a couple of years, so I thought, right, they can get sewn on and I can cut them into strips later. That's why I've got so many of different colours. But as I said, it's things that I haven't used. So the reverse side of this one is that. So you can see the pattern on there really prettily. I've got a Brother sewing machine that gives me lots and lots of patterns, so I'm very blessed by that. So I repeat the patterns quite a lot, and I'll just flip these over so you can see them. I've got a little frog. He won't go away. So I'm sorry if I keep clearing my throat. I know it's going to annoy. That particular one, my bobbin was not threaded correctly, and it gave me a whole different range of texture. I'm going to use this one because it's so textured. It's not flat like the normal stitches. I think that one was the same. You can see how the thread is not quite catching properly. But it's all good. Once I caught up to it, it stopped misbehaving and started behaving, so I got some pretty little patterns out of things. And this is such pretty paper. It's almost like a shimmer paper. I don't know if you can pick that up on screen or not, but it's absolutely beautiful. I loved it. And I had just something that I'd cut shapes out of, and I'd just thrown them into a box somewhere. So I came across it and I thought, yep, time to make something out of this. This was also one sheet, larger sheet of paper that I've sewn on. So Natasha, your inspiration has given me many moments of joy. And I went a little bit further with this one. I've had a little piece of netting next to my sewing machine, so I sewed that on there as well as the pattern, just for something different. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of bits to use. And as Natasha said, what do you do with them? Well, she showed us something that she did, and this, oops, wrong one, where is it? Where did that go to? This little piece here, I pleated a strip and I sewed it onto that other one, the greener one underneath it, using the fancy stitch, and it just looks so pretty. But going back into my conversation, what can you do with them? She showed us how to make paper envelopes out of book pages with a sheet of plastic. That's another pleated one. Isn't that pretty? And I spent a few minutes looking at the video, and I re-looked at it, and I re-looked at it, and I thought, yeah, I can do that. So, this is what I came up with. I've been using the page, so one I've got all together, the top writing up here is the right way up, but this is the wrong way. That doesn't matter. So it is just a piece of book page folded over, and I've got the plastic starting about here. So there's the fold, about half an inch to an inch down. And then you can fill it up with all your little bits and pieces. Use them in Happy Mail. Use them inside a journal as extra little bits of paper to embellish your journals with. So there's that. You could put in even a couple of pieces of your paper lace if you've made something pretty. You can put a couple of those in there as well. Doesn't want to go reason. I don't know why. But there you have it. I've gone a little bit further into it, and I've added bits to the top and little bits to the bottom, and I'd love to show you those. So let's get into that part of my thing. The simplest ones I've done is this one. Just a piece of the pattern strip of paper sewn around squarely or rectangularly, whatever, using a straight stitch, and that's something else that I can fill up with other bits and pieces. And there's this plain one. And this paper, this plastic, is display folder inserts. I was having difficulty. I tried to use cellophane bag and it moved all over the place. It wasn't successful. You could still see everything through it and it was really, really pretty, but I wasn't happy with the finish. So that's why I changed to baking paper. Now baking paper is very good. It's see-through. It's very much like parchment paper, and it worked better than the cellophane bag. But I still wasn't completely happy with it. And I was talking to Crafty Arena, and she said, well, I put the display folder inserts on mine, and I thought, well, I'll give that a shot. And guess what? It works really, really well, because baking paper, for one, whilst it does show through and it sews really nicely, it doesn't allow you to stick anything onto it. So what I've done, I've sewn a flower or a little mason jar in there, and then I've put a sticker on top of that. A piece of the paper here, one of my homemade tickets, and a little owl dangle, and that one's pretty. This one is not filled, but it has the extra little dangle on there, and Natasha showed us that as well. Put a dangle on a glide-on clip, put it onto the top, and you've got it weighted down. The lid's not going to, the fold's not going to come open. Now back into the parchment paper, and I use two brads here and just the clip there to hold it down. This one I decorated with buttons, and I've already filled it. A little piece of the paper up here, and the flower ties in with that. And a little more elaborate, I used a shape, a piece of paper, and 3 buttons, and that's quite heavy. That's not going to go anywhere in a hurry. I used a circle punch that out of the same paper that I did the little strip, so it coordinates. 3 little buttons, a piece of washi tape, and a sticker down the bottom, and that one's ready to fill. Now we're getting into the little bit more elaborate with a half a doily, the piece of stitched paper, flowers, leaves, and sequins, and I think that is absolutely gorgeous. I've made several of these designs with the napkins in there. Napkins? Doilies? Yeah, what is it? Doilies. And this little one is so pretty. And this was the cellophane bag. It's got a little bit of a crease in here because I just couldn't get it to stay put. It wanted to move all over the place. But I do love the fact that it is really, really see-through. Now I have the doily again, the flower, the paper strip, and one of my little butterflies. Oops. I'm not going to describe each and every one of these to you because the recipe is the same. Only with this one I put a dangle down there and a little saying. And this one I put a big square brad in between, or I put it through the strip first, and then I glued it onto the page. And this is ready to send to somebody. And I've got just 2 more to show you. This one, and I've yet to work out what to put in here. I might just put a little pearl or something rather like that in there for that dangle. And this one, I made the chopper to this one fairly simple. Don't ask me why. I like the look of it. I wanted to see what it looked like. So, my lovely ladies and gentlemen, that is my project for this last few days. I do hope you enjoyed having a look at these. I'm just going to line up a few of my faves. I love them with the way they're super dressed up. They look very, very pretty. Okay, lovelies, thank you so very, very much for watching. I do hope you like enough to leave a little comment, and I will catch up with you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.